Many Hearts, One Italian Community is a journey through Italy and beyond, discovering people from the Visitation program of Melbourne. The volunteers that sustain the program come from many different places, towns and regions of Italy, as well as countries from around the world. Many hearts giving selflessly to others. Our aim is to provide a little companionship, a friendly presence that can help breaking the cycle of loneliness and the onset of depression. What drives our volunteers is a commitment to help others. And we all share an unconditional love for Italy, una generale ammirazione per l'Italia, per la sua cultura, la sua lingua, la sua arte e la sua gente. The Italian landscape is a perfect environment, a rich and diverse cultural landscape, a living embroidery of mountains, hills, trees, crops and works of art. Similar to the Visitation program, coordinated by the Victorian Italian Assistance Association, Co.As.It, with its broad and diverse volunteers program. The range and variety of our services match the diversity of Italian regions, Lombardia, Campania or Sicilia, or regions such as Emilia-Romagna and Veneto, or Toscana e Lazio. Italy surprises everyone. Stark contrasts, vibrant colours, and an incredible variety of dialects. The Italian novelist and journalist Guido Piovene wrote in 1957 in his book Viaggio in Italia: Palermo è un mondo e Catania un mondo diverso. La Romagna è una parte dell'Emilia, ma basta andare da Bologna e Forlì per vedere che il colore della vita pubblica e privata è diversa da città a cittadina. Since 1985, Co.As.It Visitation program has alleviated the effect of isolation for thousands of older Italian-speaking community members at risk of becoming disconnected and withdrawn in their homes, or lost in aged care facilities where English is spoken by the large majority of residents and staff. With our visitation program, great friendships have been formed and the solitude of many has been eased. Italy, with its tumultuous history of conquerors, invasions, revolutions, rises and falls of emperors and kings, struggles for independence, with secoli di feudalismo e regni papali, lived through history, evolving, adjusting, and using their diversity to enrich the identity of the Italian people. So too did Sir James Gobbo's idea about Victorian Italian-specific friendly visiting program, even if they said it couldn't be done. Sir James Gobbo, current Emeritus President of Co.As.It and ex-Governor of Victoria, had the insight to realise that Italian migrants of pre- and post-World War I and II would experience language problems as they aged, and as a result, a noticeable community disconnection. Despite facing significant discouragements, Italians would not accept complete strangers visiting them in their private homes. Italians do not have a history of volunteering. Sir James resisted and he set out to recruit friends and supporters who would align with him to establish an appropriate Italian-speaking visitation program. Co.As.It Visitation program has flourished and today it is well sought out. Volunteers of the Visitation program make a real difference in the lives of ageing migrants, says Gabriella after the passing of her dear mum. Limited educational background in their country of birth has resulted in Italian migrants of pre- and post-World War I and II to be further disadvantaged because they were unable to access English language learning classes when they first arrived in Australia, and they dived into the workforce, mainly into factories. Aged care facilities' lifestyle coordinators have noticed that even non-verbal people with dementia who attend the Italian-speaking singing groups have been seen tapping their hands in tune with the music and the songs. Volunteers themselves gain many considerable health benefits in participating, aside a sense of identity and meaningful pride. Research studies conducted in Australia and abroad support health benefits associated with volunteering. Studies have found that the experience of helping others is linked with improved mental and physical health, improved self-worth, a happier self, improved health temperament, better night's sleep, and healthier moods. Volunteers of the visitation program, by donating of their time, contribute to alleviating social isolation whilst gaining personal well-being and longevity benefits. By helping others, volunteers are helping themselves in ways beyond simply nourishing the soul. Recently, Michelle Carlson from the Johns Hopkins University of Baltimore in the USA has found that the memory centre in the brain of retirees taking part in meaningful socialisation activities, like volunteering, can prevent brain shrinkage associated with the normal ageing process and minimises onset risks of developing age-related cognitive diseases like dementia. The lifestyle coordinator at Twin Parks would generally describe Salvatore as a male Italian-speaking resident who most of the time is withdrawn and is a non-talkative, sad gentleman, but also a resident who doesn't participate in the community activities offered at the aged care facility because of the language barrier and the melancholy influenced by his dementia. Salvatore's demeanour on his visitation day changes noticeably. With his volunteer, he sings songs from his old country and laughs. This re-energises him, reconnects him with life and leaves him in a more positive mindset, which lingers on for the remainder of the day, beyond the visitation period. The isolation, when a person's capacity to participate in the wider community is impeded, together with loss of independence, can be very devastating. This is even more significant when ageing mothers and fathers are unable to converse due to a loss of acquired second language skills, and so they revert to their first language as a way of daily communication with everyone, from sons and daughters, grandchildren, nieces and nephews, from neighbours to shopkeepers and assistant care workers. People who themselves may not be able to understand them, even though they are being supportive and kind. Co.As.It friendly visitation volunteers provide a little help, a circuit breaker from the daily routine, an opportunity to reminisce about the time gone by. Often just having a chat with someone puts a smile on the person's face, or a little tear of delight, as a regional coordinator recently experienced at the end of the assessment of a newly referred client. Teresa innocently asked about the cost of the service she was about to receive, and Phil explained that the visitation program was free because the person who would be visiting is in fact a volunteer. The simple fact brought a tear to her eye as she said, "That's so lovely. I can't believe there are such good people out there." Phil replied, "Yes, they definitely are out there. We have many amazing volunteers who dedicate their time to share a bit of joy with others." The visitation program is truly a wonderful and amazing program. Aging is a time for reliving the past in our minds and thoughts, and older people like to tell their memories to others. Volunteers who have an understanding of the Italian language and culture are able to share this time with them and listen to their experiences, their achievements and disappointments, without passing judgment or taking sides. Volunteers provide listening time with genuine pleasure and admiration, even if they might have heard the same story many, many times. They give their time to validate and to value the individual, whilst observing cultural nuances and social conventions. Through their visits, the well-acquainted and reliable volunteers of the visitation program provide much-needed relief for working families and carers, many of whom toil diligently at supporting their aging parents. The son of an 84-year-old gentleman said to the visitation program coordinator that the man who greeted him at the door on his return was not his usual father. This man was now happier and light-hearted because his father had been sad and depressed for months, and now he could see a change. Friendly visitors also provide solace to older people living in difficult circumstances because of family events, loss of surviving relatives, distance of inhabiting, or detachment from relatives. An older person finds in the volunteer that special friend with whom to laugh, take a walk around the block or the yard, bake traditional biscuits, share the know-how to pickle olives, make la salsa di pomodori, or a good drop of vino di casa. That is what it is to be Italian, a tapestry of living art. A multicultural group of people who live artistically and spontaneously, performing il vero teatro italiano, not in beautiful venues, but on the practical stage of daily life, in the streets, in conversations, in their hand gestures and loudness. Co.As.It wishes to acknowledge warmly the generosity of past and present volunteers of the visitation program. Without them, the Italian community of Melbourne and Shepparton would not have had this very valuable service. The role and work of volunteers is an example of Botticelli's or Caravaggio's finest works of art, an example of sweetness like tasting un bacio perugina, or exemplary virtue like reciting La Divina Commedia by Dante Alighieri, whilst making our society more humane and likeable, particularly when many of the volunteers from the Co.As.It visitation program are still working themselves, or studying, raising families, or assisting the rearing of their own grandchildren. They still find the time to light up the life of someone in need. Grazie volontari per la vostra generosità ed invocando le parole scritte in una poesia da Gaetana Latina, volontaria del Visitation Program. Ascoltiamo chi è abbandonato a se stesso. Rispondiamo con gioia, diamo un sorriso.